Was Edward VI a tyrant in the making? Edward was born about 2 a.m. on the 12th of October 1537. He was the long-awaited heir of Henry VIII and his wife Jane Seymour. This was the defining moment of Henry VIII's reign. He had been waiting nearly 20 years for a boy. Henry referred to Edward as his precious jewel. As you know, Jane Seymour died only 20 days later, aged 28, from postnatal complications. Edward spent most of his early years at Hampton Court Palace and other palaces around London, where the air was cleaner and there was a less risk of him catching the plague. Far from being a sickly child, he enjoyed very good health and he was known to be a happy, healthy, robust boy. Until the age of 6, he was brought up by a female household where he had a lady governess called Margaret Bryan. In 1539, she wrote to Thomas Cromwell saying, "My Lord Prince is in good health and merry. Would to God the King and your Lordship had seen him last night. The minstrels played and his Grace danced and played so wantonly that he could not stand still." Because this boy was so long awaited and he was the heir to the English throne, Henry VIII lavished loads and loads of attention and money on this boy. When he turned 6, he was considered to move into the next phase of his upbringing. So his female household was replaced by a male household where he started his formal education with a series of tutors. The young prince's household was a palace in miniature, with every conceivable luxury. He was regularly spoilt with gifts and presents, and he was indulged in a rich diet of food. He even had his own troupe of minstrels that followed him wherever he went. His school books were decorated with covers of enamel gold, set with rubies, diamonds and sapphires. And his cutlery was studded with precious stones and his napkins were embroidered with gold and silver thread. As a result, the prince grew up to be really spoilt. And it was widely reported that he had a temper that could be vicious and cruel. A contemporary even claimed that in a fit of rage, the young prince once tore a living falcon into 4 before his tutors. At the age of 9, the young prince became king, and although a regency was set up to rule in his stead, this did not mean that he took a back seat. He was a zealot when it came to the Protestant religion, and he would not take no for an answer. At times, he was also said to be really cold and unfeeling. In fact, when his uncle, who was the Lord Protector, the Duke of Somerset, was executed, he only wrote in his diary, "The Duke of Somerset had his head cut off upon the Tower Hill about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning." This was someone he had grown up with, and yet he felt no feeling. So, when Edward died aged only 15, was this a lucky escape for England? Was he a tyrant in the making?